AITA for telling my fiancé sister I'm more important than her and I'm going nowhere. So I'm engaged to Jake. We have been together 5 years and I'm currently pregnant with our second child who's due any day now. I get along with his family except for Jenny, who was dating Jake from ages 14 to 16. She ended moving in with them because of issues at home, and she is also super close to his sister. Jake told me when they broke up it caused issues and he ended moving out at 17 to live with his uncle, which Jenny saw as them choosing her. Jake was no contact with his family when we got together, but they ended up speaking again after we had our first child, and Jenny had at that stage claimed them as her own family for as long as I've known her. She makes jokes about being the favorite and that if any of the siblings or their partners gets on her wrong side she'll have them kicked out of the family like she did Jake. Not true. When we first met them, Jenny was extremely cold and rude to me. She kept making comments about how disappointed she was in Jake. Obviously it's not gotten better. She literally told me multiple times I'll never be part of their family and keeps making out I'm just a fling that will disappear any day. My in-laws had a get-together tonight for dinner and a few drinks. Obviously with my being 2 days overdue everyone was buzzing and giving me attention, which pissed Jenny off. I came out of the bathroom at one stage and Jenny, who clearly had one too many, was waiting for me. She told me that no matter how many times I get knocked up or even when I wear my white dress, she looked me up and down, though I shouldn't, she'll still be always more important, because if they choose her over their own son they'll definitely choose her over some slut who got knocked up after dating a guy for 6 weeks. I told her actually I'm more important and I'm never going away because I'm the mother of their grandchildren and I'm gonna have their last name, which Jake nor his parents ever give her, and all she is to them is a charity case who needs to get over her ex. Whole different story there, and she needs to see a therapist to work on her issues. Then I told her sober up, she looks pathetic. She then broke down crying and everyone came to see what was going on. I told Jake I wanted to go home. His family are on my side after hearing the whole story, but his sister is mad for what I told her and said it's triggered her abandonment issues, which will put Jenny back into a dark place. Comment: I'm surprised you lasted this long. I would have told her all that and worse the first time she attacked me. She brought this on herself. She pushed you too far, and you told her how it is. Her issues are her own to deal with. She doesn't get to start some shit and decide how you finish it. Her jokes aren't jokes, she's trying to intimidate you. Careful of this whole extended family. They sound troubled and are enabling Jenny's cruel behavior and grandiose ideas about how she fits in and how she kicked out Jake. Sounds like messy people all around. Good luck with your pregnancy and wedding. Stick close to Jake and put some distance between you guys and the others. Jenny needs therapy, lots of it. Whatever happened with her family led to her fixation and fear of losing this family. But it is not an excuse to insult you and your place in the family. You didn't trigger her abandonment issues, they were on full display when she confronted you. If your future still cares about Jenny, she should stop putting the blame on you and get her friends some help. What made me giggle a little and a little sad was the fact that she was so sure Jake's family would side with her on everything, but when they heard what happened, the only person on her side was Jake's sister. I do not for the life of me understand all the ESHNYTA. So what if you went for the jugular? You put up with her for long enough. Don't dish out if you can't handle someone clapping back. Honestly, I hate it when someone gets crap for clapping back. You are not the asshole. Not every human alive is expected to be a saint. You can be petty and mean. I don't believe in starting a fight, but you sure as hell can end it. NTA. Also, if she really was his sister, you'd kind of be the asshole, as she'd likely have been around him for years before you. But she isn't. She's his ex, one that his family is still keeping around. Talk about clingy. Like, I read a similar post a few days ago. And man, the whole family is a bunch of assholes for choosing her over their own son. I feel bad for you and your husband. NTA. Maybe time to go no or low contact again if this keeps up. I would not want her around my children, and I don't know you from just one post, but I feel like you wouldn't want Jenny around them either. I'm so proud of you. You told her exactly what she needed to hear. And then you didn't entertain it any further, by telling your fiancé you wanted to go home. Who cares if sister-in-law is mad? Let her coddle her all she wants. What you said is true. And in the future, if she says that kind of stuff to you again, I think you should remind her of your place in the family, since she may forget once she sobers up. Like, you destroyed her, but in the game of social chess, when someone makes a move for your king driven by their own insecurity, they're showing their weakness and how to put them into check. The constant pick energy she displayed just made it obvious how to stick her and twist the knife, and if anything the family siding with you likely had a similar effect. The bio sisters just got her head up her ass because sisterhood, so she's irrelevant. Triggered her abandonment issues. All of Jenny's behavior to you and to Jake has been about her abandonment issues. She built a fantasy in her head about her relationship with the family and you popped it. Lying to Jenny and allowing her to treat someone she feels threatened by as a punching bag to avoid her being in a dark place is absolutely not the right thing to do. She is so insecure she is destroying her chance at healthy relationships. That's on her. Hopefully she actually starts looking into therapy. Next story 2. AITA for giving my inheritance to my sister and giving nothing to my brother? I have a brother Keith and a sister Ashley. Keith and I have the same mom and dad. Our parents divorced when we were 7. Our dad married our stepmother and Ashley is my dad and stepmother's daughter. Ashley is technically my one-half sister, but she is my best friend and I love her more than anything. Keith and I have never been close despite having the same parents. My dad bought his house with my stepmother when I was 18 and Keith was 16. I have no sentimental attachment to the house since I didn't live in it long and my sister lived there her whole life. My brother was never really close to our dad and always said he disliked our dad. My stepmother passed away a few years ago. Our father passed away this year from cancer. Ashley and I helped take care of him, so Keith already knew his portion of the estate would be much less. Our father left Keith 10% of the estate, me 45%, and Ashley 45%. Ashley is still in college. Keith is working and traveling. I am happily married to my husband and we are not struggling by any means. My husband and I talked and told Ashley we'd make our guest bedroom into a room for her so she always has somewhere to come home to during college breaks. And my husband told me he promised my father we'd pay for the remainder of Ashley being in school as long as she has good grades. My father paid for Keith and I to go to college and had the same plans for Ashley. My husband and I also decided that we don't need the money from my father's estate, so my portion could go to Ashley for her to have some money when college ended. She could also decide to keep the house and live there. My husband said we could buy out my brother's 10% if she couldn't. Keith found out about this and has completely flipped out. He doesn't think it's fair we're giving this much to Ashley. He's told our mother how I'm a monster of a sister and don't care about him. My mother has taken his side and said I'm favoring Ashley and could have divided it between her and Keith. Ashley is 22 and Keith is 34. They're at different parts of their life and Keith and I still have at least one parent. I'm getting texts from family and friends that Keith has told saying how awful I'm being to him. So AITA for doing that? Comment. Your money, your choice, period. Keith has a lot of nerve given the fact he did nothing for your dad while he was alive. Remind him of that, and your mother too. There is always one greedy asshole in the family, and guess who got that title in yours, Keith? Guess mom, who shouldn't even involve herself in this matter, can leave Keith her estate if she finds it so unfair. There's a reason why mom and dad divorced, so she's far from an unbiased observer. She just wants to punish her daughter for taking care of her ex-husband and getting more than her deadbeat son did as a result. Auntie A. Op should feel lucky that she has such a wonderful half-sister and best friend. Keep being generous. Your money, your choice. Also, it didn't seem like he was very close to his father and that part of his family from the op's POV. I feel like he is probably also upset with the original 10% and this was somewhat a way to bring it up. Absolutely Auntie A, but make sure you work with a lawyer and an accountant to make sure you do not become liable for gift taxes. In the US these are paid by the giver, not the recipient, but can be avoided by proper tax filings. You can also put some of the dollar into a 529 account for college purposes. Your brother did not get along with your dad and your dad had his reasons for giving him a 10% share. People get disinherited all the time. Sometimes it is because they don't get along with a relative. Sometimes the relative thinks someone else in the family needs more help. Even if we all think you are Auntie A and your heart is in the right place, what you are doing might not be 100% legal. Maybe talk to a lawyer to make sure you are following all the rules regarding the trust. Your brother has 10% of the estate, which probably means he has some right and you have to respect those rights. While it's your money, your choice, your brother has zero obligation to allow you to buy his portion, and you are playing with fire here in that regard. 10% compared to 90 is also a noof, even not helping. As long as you're okay losing your relationship with your brother, proceed. I get the feeling he may have been potentially unfairly punished for being less okay with the divorce than you, reading between the lines here. The will was your dad's last wish, and the son that didn't like him, shouldn't be surprised that he didn't get anything. especially since Up and sister nursed Dad in his final days. The will was dispersed per Dad's wishes. If Kevin feels screwed, then he only has himself to blame. I'm not taking responsibility for his relationship with his father. Telling on me, people that also have no say in the will, changes nothing. And honestly, the mother shouldn't even be included in this. It's messed up, she talking aside, and when the will wasn't the Up doing. And what Up does with her money is her business. What you're doing is a very noble thing. Your brother/family and friends are being awful, but that's what you get with family and finances. For them to think they are in any way entitled to a say in what you do with your money is ridiculous, yet not unexpected. One suggestion, though, is to hold onto the money for a little while. First, it might shut them up about you giving it away. Second, Ashley is already getting what I'm assuming is a good bit of money with her 45%. A lot of us would have blown through a windfall like that at her age. So throw it in a high-yield savings account, or possibly a trust, depending on the amount, and give it to her at a future time of your choosing. If/when she buys a house, to put towards her wedding, when she has a baby, when she turns 30, it's up to you.